Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we are tackling one of the biggest questions out there, maybe the biggest question. It's something that's launched a million songs, poems, and, endless debates. What is love?
I mean, the world throws 1,000 different answers at us, right? You hear about chemistry, romance, these intense feelings, these fleeting emotions. But what if there's a more solid, more foundational definition we could look at? For this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the definition you find in the biblical texts and really try to understand its unique perspective.
Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing the source material does is, well, it kind of flips the whole question on its head. It argues that to get a real answer, we can't just ask what love is. We first have to understand where it even comes from. And it points not to some abstract concept, but to a very specific source.
Now this right here, this is deceptively simple, but the implication is absolutely huge. This little verse from 1 John is basically the bedrock for this entire biblical definition. See, it's not just saying that God is loving, or that God does loving things. Nope. It's making a much bigger claim, that the very essence, the actual nature of God is love.
So if we build on that idea, it means the love we're talking about is defined by three really key things. First, its origin is divine. It comes straight from God. Second, its main action is sacrificial. It's all about giving of yourself for someone else's good. And third, its nature is eternal. It's not temporary, it's not conditional. This framework, it's going to be crucial for everything else we talk about. So, okay, if love is part of God's nature, what does that actually look like for us, in real life? Well, the Apostle Paul gives us this incredibly practical, almost action-oriented checklist in his letter to the Corinthians. And it's way less about how you feel and way more about what you do.
And you can see the contrast so clearly here. On one side, love is patient, which means it has a long fuse. It doesn't just snap. It's kind. It's actively looking for ways to be good to people. But then look at the other side, what it's not. It doesn't get envious of what other people have. It doesn't brag about itself, and it's not puffed up with pride. You see that theme of humility running right through it.
And the list just keeps going, building on that same idea with some really powerful verbs. Love always protects, it always trusts, which kind of means it chooses to believe the best in others. It always hopes, and it always perseveres. It just doesn't give up. And the contrast is just as sharp. It doesn't dishonor other people, it's not self-seeking, and oh man, this is a big one. It doesn't keep a record of wrongs. It just lets it go. It forgives.
Now, to get even more specific, it really helps to know that our one single English word for love is trying to do the job of 4 different words from the original Greek of the New Testament. And when you understand these 4 types, it gives you a much richer, more nuanced way to think about it all.
First, and honestly the most important one, is agape. This is that divine love we've been talking about. It's totally unconditional, meaning it has nothing to do with whether the other person deserves it. It's sacrificial. And here's the kicker. It's a choice, a decision of your will, not just some fleeting emotion. This is the God is love kind of love. Then you've got Phileo. You've probably heard of Philadelphia, right? The city of brotherly love? Well, this is that. Phileo is that warm, affectionate love you have for a really close friend. It's built on stuff you have in common, mutual respect, shared experiences. It's a really powerful and beautiful thing.
And different from that friendship love is storge. This is that natural, familiar family love. It's the protective bond a parent has for their child, or that easy affection between siblings. It's instinctive, it's comfortable, and it's the kind of love that makes you feel secure.
And finally, there's Eros, which is where we get our word erotic. This is that passionate, romantic love. It's interesting, the source material points out that this specific Greek word isn't actually used in the New Testament, but the idea of it is celebrated all over the place. And it finds its fullest and most proper expression within the commitment of marriage. Okay, so we've got the source of love, we've got a practical checklist, and we have 4 different types of love. But what's the point? What's the ultimate so what? What are we supposed to actually do with all this? Well, the source texts boil all of this down into one ultimate, super practical application. And here it is. Jesus actually called this the greatest commandment. It's a pretty simple 2-step process. First, there's a vertical love, aimed up at God, that uses every single part of you, your emotions, your soul, your mind, your strength.
Then there's a horizontal love, aimed out at other people, with a simple measuring stick. Love them the way you care for yourself. This is the definition of love put into motion.
So this is the crucial takeaway. We're kind of ending right where we started with another verse from 1 John that just brings it all full circle. The source material really emphasizes that our ability to love God or love our neighbor, it's not something we can just gin up on our own. It's a response. It's an echo that's only possible because we first receive love from its ultimate source.
And that just leaves us with this one fascinating final thought. If this definition is true, if love is less about some passive feeling that just happens to you and more about an active sacrificial choice that you make, well, that changes everything. It puts the power and the responsibility right in our hands. So the final question isn't about what you feel, it's about what you will choose. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.